Well, hello there. I'm Scotty, you're not, and we're back to talking about Smokey and the Bandit 2. Not any clever joke for this? I don't know. Smokey and the Bandit 2 tells the tale of the bandit, who is once again on a run to deliver something from one place to another, but is never concluded, and we have to rehash stuff from the first one over again. Yeah. I was watching this and I was enjoying it the first 10 minutes. And as soon as it cut to the bandit, I went, oh no. No. We're not doing this. We're doing this. And they make it worse. Not only with what happens with the bandit, but then they cut to Frog. And I just went, why? This is Ghostbusters 2 all over again. Before Ghostbusters 2 actually happened. So we start with Big Enos and Little Enos, who are trying to make a deal for something. You overhear a politician is going to deliver a crate to the Republican National Convention. Who was the president in 1980? Was it wasn't Jimmy, was it? Wasn't Nixon still, was it? Jimmy? Reagan wasn't until the mid-80s. Jimmy Carter? There's got to be something between Carter and Reagan, right? Maybe it was Jimmy Carter, I don't know. But, so, Big Enos and Little Enos, they intercept the crate, and they're going to have Bandit and Snowman, Cletus, transport it and deliver it in their name. Yeah. So they decided that's what they're going to do, and then we cut to Cletus on a race car track with his semi-truck. We know they can at least go 95, because that's what it was in the last movie. I don't even know if it can go that fast. Yeah. I guess. And he wins, for whatever reason, and then they show up, and he says, no. He and Fred, they got women there, even though he's married. I do like the joke later, though, where he's like, if I had enough money, I'd send my family on a trip to Hawaii. Or whatever he says it. And she's like, oh, that's sweet. What the hell are you talking about? I ain't going with them. That's sweet, you love your family that much. What the hell are you talking about? I ain't going with them. Yeah. So, that means they make a deal for him for $200,000, which is, keeping track, $150,000 more than the first one. So he says, you know what, we'll make the deal, and I'm going to go talk to the bandit. And then the movie lost me, because we cut to Bandit drunk in his hotel room. I went, no, don't do it, don't do this. Don't do that. They broke up in between the movies, and now this movie's going to be all about them getting back together. Even though we don't need to do that, sequels do that all the time. These couple gets together at the end of the last one. What are we doing in the next one? Actual character development? Nope. Break them back up again, having it back together again, because that's what you do. Instead of actually adding character development, like, I don't know, having the baby that Sigourney Weaver has in the second film be Peter's, so he has to grow up and have responsibility and have to get over there. Nah, we're going to rehash everything. And that's what this is. And to the point of rehashment, that they couldn't find any other way for Buford to get involved than to have her go back to marrying Junior? Like, if Bandit being drunk, I went, oh God, no, what are we doing? It cuts to Buford, and he's like, oh, I can't believe she took you back. And I'm like, no. Why? Why would... Clearly she's in it for the money, I guess, but I don't know. And then, so, I like this, though. I did laugh at this. Cletus uses a drunk bandit to talk the Enuses into doubling the money to $400,000 and getting half up front. Which, by the way, spoiler alert, they never finished the run, so they owed the Enuses $200,000. I'm just saying. Yeah. So, Cletus and a very drunken bandit agree to do it, and then Cletus calls Frog because they need her to do it. But sure, she's there to help get him back into shape. And you know what? Bandit and I have the same exercise regimen, right? One sit up. That's good enough. Look, that's what he does. He lays down to a sit up. He goes, one. That's good enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's hiding beers everywhere, and Cletus has to clean it up. This part was kind of funny. He's looking for alcohol, and he looks up at the lamp, and he goes up, and he finds like a bottle of hooch, and he's like, he turns around and Cletus is there. He's like, that was already there. I'm gonna put it back. He puts it back up there. I did laugh at that. So, yeah. So after they all get back together and they do a Rocky-style training montage. Literally, Burt Reynolds literally must have. You know that movie Rocky came out like 3 years ago. They did a sequel, right? We're doing a sequel. You know they did that training thing, right? Let's do that. Or maybe it was more like, you know that movie Rocky. You know I did that training thing. We should do that. Yeah. And my name's not Burt Reynolds anymore. It's Turd Ferguson. And he must wear an oversized hat. I don't know. Trying to work that in. But yeah, so after the training montage, because you gotta have a montage. Gotta do it in a montage. They go to pick up said crate. And this frustrated me because there's no need to pad out the movie like this. And it is for padding because they show up and the guy's like, well, can't give it to you. Gotta be quarantined for 3 weeks. But the other people were going to come and pick it up close to the same time. Right? Or were they not coming for 3 weeks? And he's like, well, why don't we just make a deal? And he's like, well, I can take the box, but they gotta leave what's inside here. Because it's quarantined for 3 weeks. So I had to sneak in and steal it. And the whole time I'm watching this and I'm going, why did they have to... Because it's a writing thing. Why did they have to write it like this? Why couldn't they just get the crate and go? Why did we have to have extra time with them breaking in and taking it? Why? It's a head scratch. It doesn't make sense. Why do we need extra time in this movie for that? It made no sense to me. So, they sneak in, they get a crate, and they find it's an elephant. It's an elephant, and they're gonna take it with them. And it's around this time that Buford decides, well, you know what, I'm kind of mad about what he did to Junior, so I'm gonna go after the bandit. I guess. I don't know, I missed something. He just decides to start going after him again. He gets on a CB radio. And something I didn't mention in the last one is, do the filmmakers not realize that CB radios have different channels and that not everyone needs to be on the same channel talking to each other? Bandit and the Snowman can have their own personal radio channel where Buford does not hear every single word they say. Did they not realize that's how that works? But no, the last one and this one, Buford hears everything they're saying. Although, even in the first one, he still didn't know where the hell they were going, even though he could hear what they're saying. I don't know. I don't know. So they're taking this thing, and they think there's something wrong with the elephant, so they gotta find a doctor. Just so happens an ambulance has set down, and then we have Dom DeLuise as Doc. And I love me Dom DeLuise. Rest in peace, sir. Why does he have to be Italian? When I first thought, I'm like, oh, he's faking it. And no, he is pretty much Italian for the entire film. And I don't know why. Clearly, Burt Reynolds had fun with Dom DeLuise on the Cannonball Run and said, hey, you know that fat guy was in a movie with me. Why don't you put him in this one too? Dom DeLuise says, I'll do it, but only if I can have an Italian accent. And they went, well, Burt wants you in, so I guess you gotta do that. That's like Dan Aykroyd being like, I'll do Caddyshack too, but I want to do a goofy voice like Bill Murray did. So he talks like this. That most annoying thing in that movie. Keep your eye on the... Yeah, I don't know. But it gets a little bit annoying with the Italian accent, you know. We find out that the elephant is pregnant and is going to deliver the baby. And that they cannot move the elephant or it'll jiggle things around. But Bandit clearly wants to make the run. And this is framed as a bad thing. Like, I understand the elephant safety is important. I get that. But this is only there and framed as a bad thing so that Frog can have a problem with it and they can have another fight to contribute to the furtherness of their apartment. I got that from Boy Meets World. Mr. Feeney, by separating them, you're contributing to the furtherness of their apartment. They're partnering? I don't know. I watched that episode. This school will not worry about the goings on of its students than it is with whatever the hell I'm teaching. Anyway, it will not be more concerned with the going on of its students than it is the hell I'm teaching. That's what it is. Anyway, so they discusses the problem with them. Buford then decides, and this, if I was already gone, I'm lost. I'm out. I'm walking out the door. Buford decides he's going to call his two brothers, Gaylord and Reggie. And it's just Jackie Gleason playing three different characters if you count. And I went, what are we doing? What is this? One is a Canadian Mountie and the other one is, well, his name is Gaylord, so can you guess? He's only effeminate, though. Yeah, and it only amounts to Dukes of Hazzard shenanigans with both of them doing the Cletus and the Enos, while he's Roscoe, also crashing somewhere else. I don't know. Buford is kind of nothing in this, really. He's there. And there's a scene where he tries to fix Junior's zipper, but stops because it looks gay. But then directly afterwards calls his gay brother. First of all, now I know if Junior was a child, it would be more like, oh, he's helping his kid with the... But the guy's a grown-ass adult, and all I can think about now is that Junior's running around for the rest of this movie with his trousers open. So, of course, Frog takes off, because that's the character development we have for them. And then they have an argument, and he really wants to make it because they go out to the bar, and he's drawing up a thing the way they can holster the elephant up so that it won't shake around, and they can make it. Oh, by the way, I was wrong, because I guess they're from Texarkana, so they were going from Texarkana to Atlanta, back to Texarkana. So Buford was in his jurisdiction when he was back there. I guess. And I also should mention they sold So another thing, and I don't even understand why this is even in there. He sold the Trans Am, but they sold Junior's car to get a new Trans Am. The son of Trigger. Roy Rogers reference, I guess. Yeah. But yeah. So this is when Frog leaves because she realizes he's gonna still try to continue to make the run, which was the whole thing of the first one, and she didn't seem to mind going through that whole thing. It was, yeah, yeah. But yeah. So the elephant has the baby, and he's after Charlotte. I do like Cleish's thing. It reminds me of my Aunt Charlotte. Smelled like her too, so he calls her Charlotte. They say he has a fat. So he's saying he has a fat, smelly aunt named Charlotte. She gives birth to a baby, and they take these circus carts, and they're gonna transport him that way. And then Bandit reunites with Frog. I call her that because I can't remember. Carrie. I call her Frog because that's what. I don't know. I don't remember why he calls her Frog, but. And everything is happily ever after. They're going to get hitched, or we don't see it. And they really had to pad the runtime with bloopers in the credits, because that's what it is. I'm like, that didn't feel like that long. And then all of a sudden you go to the credits and there's bloopers. And oh, no. That's why you got to have the bloopers. Now look, it wasn't terrible. I've heard 3 is worse. Can't wait for that. But this was fine. It's middle of the road. The original is a classic in every shape of the word, in every meaning of the word, whatever. This one, I don't know. I don't even remember seeing. I swear there was a scene where he's on the elephant and he says, "Caca," and it poops. Wasn't that? Or am I having a, whatever you call it, moment? Mandela effect moment? I swear there was a movie with Burt Reynolds. It might not even have to be Burt Reynolds, but someone is on an animal and says "caca" and makes them poop on a car or something. With the elephant being pregnant, I don't think that happened, did it? I don't remember him riding the elephant. I thought there was a scene where he rode the elephant. I do like when the elephant hugs him because he got the thing out of her hoof. That's what it is. He's like, "Oh, you're hugging her." "Oh, I ain't hugging her. You're hugging me." He's, "Why don't you let go of her?" "Why don't you let go of her? Why don't you let go of me?" Or something like that. Burt Reynolds is fine. I don't know if this was like something they had to do or contracted to do, but it's fine. It's middle of the road. That's all I can say. It's middle of the road. So, what are your thoughts on Smokey and the Bandit 2? Let me know in the comments. So much. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.